Welcome back to JB Reviews. I have 3 of the 4 HD trucks here. Only exception is GMC, but we'll talk about that in a second. Which truck got rated the highest for initial quality? We'll answer that in a second, but I borrowed these trucks from Jerry Seiner, Chevrolet, Larry H. Miller, Super Ford, here in Salt Lake City, and then we have Larry H. Miller, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram that is in Sandy, Utah. Be sure to check out their inventory. All 3 of these trucks are available for sale. Let's go ahead and get started with the video. In the last video I did, I showed you guys where Ram, which is a standalone brand, had the highest initial quality, which was a study done by J.D. Power. Now, that was not including the HDs. That was only the half-ton pickup trucks. Now, with that being said, Ram actually scored 3rd place. Now, let's go ahead and check that out really quickly. One thing I'll say is this: Ram is a really good brand, but it does take them more time to change their product over the course of time, and we've seen that throughout the years. Right? If you think about the 1st gen Ram, when they brought out the Cummins, and then the 2nd gen was probably arguably one of the best AC trucks of all time, especially with that 12 valve Cummins, and then they went to the 24 valve. But really, right now, Ram has done the least amount of changes, which means they should have probably been 1st place, right? But they weren't. I'm on J.D. Power's website, and you guys will see here that they have a few acronyms that you need to know. So this stands for problems per 100 vehicles. IQS is going to be initial quality study, and then VOC is voice of the customer. So if you scroll down, you guys will see that this is the 30th year of this study, and they got responses from 99,144 purchasers and lessees of new 2024 model year vehicles, okay? And a survey after 90 days of ownership. Now, in the last video I did on the Ram half tons having the highest quality, I pretty much proved the point. As I said, all the fanboys were gonna come out and see that Rams are junk. Now, if you go through the comment section of that video, you will see that a few people who have owned Rams over the course of time had a different theory. As I've said in the past, online hate is real. You have fanboys. I wonder if these are people that work at the manufacturing companies. Like, there's no way these are just owners acting this way. But yes, the half tons had the highest quality, but as I said earlier, the HDs came in 3rd place. Now, there's 2 of the trucks here. Which truck came in 2nd place? You guys ready for this? Let's go. Ford came in 2nd place for the ranking for the initial quality study with J.D. Power. Now, that's pretty remarkable because you have to remember this truck is pretty much a redesign. So most of the ergonomics on this truck are different from the 2022s, right? It has a pretty much new powertrain available with a high output power stroke, and the 7.3 gas engine did receive some updates. Now, this study is really for like the 90-day. I didn't mention that in the last video, and I should have. So I think a lot of what they're looking at is how easy it is to get into the truck and learn it. How well do these ergonomics work? Obviously, Apple CarPlay is wireless now. How well does it connect to the truck? And of course, you know, the fit and finish, the quality of the truck too is a factor as well. And Ford, being in its 2nd year for this redesign, beat out this ancient Ram truck. If you don't know, this truck's cab and beds are pretty much 14 years old at this point. 2010 is when they got that redesign on this truck. And as I said earlier, the half tons were #1 for a brand. So when you think about the total brand, the half tons are why Ram got the highest rating, which is #1. But when you look at the fit and finish of this truck, I would say quality does take a hit in some parts of this interior. I mean, this truck doesn't even have a telescoping steering wheel, and it's 2024. And yeah, that's why I think the HDs did not get rated as high. But I will say overall, the quality of this truck is nice. When I do a bunch of reviews on trucks, I like to see if I find one that has things wrong with it. And Ram trucks are pretty good in regard to that. But yeah, when you see the quality, it sticks out like this, for example. See right here? you would think that in time they would have fixed these little bits and pieces. I mean, this truck is 14 years old for the cab and beds. Like, this thing should almost be perfect, right? Almost. Let's move on to number one. Believe it or not, Chevy was number one. Now, most people are gonna say, naturally, if Chevy's number one, then GMC HDs are number one. No, that's not true, actually. For some weird reason, GMC did not get rated for the HDs, which makes me believe either they didn't get enough surveys for GMCs, or GMC came in 4th place. Here's all the rankings for the brands. So you guys can see Chevy as a brand came in 2nd place on this study. Now Ford is in the top 10. And moving on down, you guys will see GMC falls below the average right here at 201 problems per. And yeah, Ford's at 179. So at the end of the day, it seems as though either they didn't get enough surveys for the HD series, as I mentioned, or maybe they are lumped together with Chevy. But down below, you guys will see, here are all the rankings for the trucks. So full size or large heavy duty pickups, you have Ram in 3rd place, Ford and Chevy was highest ranked. I'm gonna get a little bit of extra noise here with the train, but I just checked online and it looks like the Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra HDs are not built in the same plant. Now, with that being said, it's very possible that Chevy trucks have better quality than GMCs because they're built better in their factory. So that's just an assumption here. I looked online and they are built in different factories. But at the end of the day, I know that this is just a 90-day look. But working in the car business, you will be shocked at how many cars do come back over the course of time. Even 15 years ago when I was in the car business, was it 15? Yeah, 15 years ago. Yeah, 15 years ago to the almost exact day almost, I got in the car business. And you'd be surprised at how many cars did come back with issues, like with the infotainment, navigation not working. I've even had a few where the headlights wouldn't even come on, or like the tail lights wouldn't come on or something like that. But yeah, I think that this is still a good study because it is unbiased. You have customers sending in the information to JD Power and rating their experience with the purchase that they had. Now, something else worth mentioning about Chevy is they did receive the most awards in the segment for brands. They received 4. So you guys know about the HD truck, the Equinox, Tahoe, and the Traverse also receive high ratings for quality for their brand. And that's a good thing to note is I feel as though Chevys are pretty simple. The fit and finish is pretty tight. I've always said this, even before this refresh on this truck, they've always had good quality. I've never been inside of a Chevy truck and it squeaked and rattled. I think that a lot of people find these trucks easy to learn, and that's probably another reason why they received the highest initial quality, right? Now, with that being said, my GMC just got out of service. It had its 2nd unscheduled service, and I want to say it's either 2nd, maybe it's its 1st recall. So I've only had the truck for like 7 months now at this point, and my GMC has definitely had more issues than all my Chevys combined. I had 2 last year. The only issue I had between the 2 was one of my headlights, the daytime running lights, would go out on this driver's side on my dually. I think I did a video on it. But apart from that, I mean, the truck was perfect. My white gas Silverado 3500 that I had was perfect. No problems whatsoever. I put about 4,000 miles on it, and I would say that everything worked and no squeaks and rattles. My GMC, it is more off-road oriented. It has more aggressive tires, so it does squeak and rattle a little bit more, but I feel as though the quality of it is just not up to par. And as you guys heard earlier, they're not built in the same factory, so that's probably why. But apart from that, I hope this video was helpful. I agree. I think that Chevy does have the highest quality. I have run into some Ford trucks that have had some screens out, the windshield wipers weren't working, or just other small things. And Ram trucks, I mean, I've had lights, like the bed lights not come on before, or I've had other small minor issues with them too. And of course, same thing with Chevy. I've had some stuff, but if I'm being completely honest and not being biased, I'm not being biased here, I think Ford is probably the one truck that I've had more problems with when I do reviews. Like either there's things that don't work on them, or it's just certain small things that, you know, aren't working at the time. But it's not a knock on Ford. It's just Ford has definitely gotten a lot better. I mean, back in the day, Ford trucks, I mean, there's an engine name called the 6-point blow. Just saying, I mean, I didn't make that up. That, go online, search it. That's the name for that engine. But right now, the 6.7 power stroke is probably one of the most reliable engines out there. So you can't hate on Ford right now because, number one, they build a great truck, and number two, their quality is definitely a lot better than what it was just even, I would say, 5-6 years ago. But be sure to subscribe to your channel if you haven't done so yet. I am going to try to do a video on this Power Wagon against a trimmer because I haven't done that. I just checked and I thought I did, but I didn't. So I'm gonna go see if I can find one here. This is like a Power Wagon with like that high trim package on it, basically. I think it's like a level 2, but it does have the center console, which means this truck is pretty decked out. So I would like to get a platinum, but a Lariat would probably be a good one too. But be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Make sure your notifications are on. See you guys soon.